Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to episode 17 of Europa Universalis IV as Japan. We're currently at war with a couple of the natives just because we want to take their money and their land from them. So we'll only be taking this province initially. We don't really want this one because it doesn't have any adjacency to anything we are going to have, but we're sieging them out anyway because we're going to try and take all of their money from them, and they may even migrate next to us and we can attack them again later on down the line. Still haven't found a good time to go to war with Korea yet. It's a little bit too risky because they still have a lot of allies that could be problematic. Jeju still has some potential unrest. Not too sure what's going on down there. I'll have to check that out in a moment, but we will wait for this war to finish because it's very nearly over. We'll probably have to keep some people stood in this province for a little while just to make sure that we get rid of any unrest that there is there. 56%, come on. Hopefully we'll get it on the next siege tick, and then that'll be done. So we are losing money at the moment. We did manage... Oh, increase of settler chance, awesome. We did manage to get the next admin tech, which has unlocked another idea group. Can't really afford to take anything else at the moment, so we won't. Okay, so people want peace. We're going to go to you first, and we are going to sue for peace. We don't want to take your land. But what we do want to take from you is war reparations and every last ducat you have, which is 88 ducats. Not an awful lot, but go ahead, send demand. So that should be pieced out with them. These guys are black flagged, but you're going to come back home. So now that that's done, we need to go over to you and sue for peace. And we want to take your land. And again, we want to take all the money you have, which is only 62 ducats for 9 war score. Yoink. Okay, so that's now ours. So you are going to want to sit down there. Now we need to core. Can we afford to? Yep, it's only 37 admin. We can afford that. So let's go and have a little look what is happening in Jeju. Independence for Korea. So it's Korean separatists. 31%. We could go ahead and just raise the autonomy. What is the problem here? Religious unity. Yeah, we haven't managed to convert them, so it's an intolerance issue more than anything. Non-accepted culture. Yeah, we don't have enough religious power to do anything about that. Let's just go ahead and raise the autonomy. At least it means we don't have to worry about rebellions down there, so that is fine. That's one problem sorted. So obviously there is a potential issue down here of a rebellion, but keeping our troops stationed here should make that go away. Once we've cored it, once we've done the religious conversion, shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we need to keep our eye on Korea still. They're not in any wars at the moment. If we were to declare war on you, Ming would still not come in. Now you're not in debt anymore. The main problem that we have is your attitude towards the enemy. So Ming actually likes Korea right now, which is very unfortunate. If they'd rival each other, that would actually help out, but the fact that Ming likes him is problematic. Why are we losing so much money? Army maintenance. I think we're just reinforcing. I think that's what's costing the money here. We've got a decent amount of money in the bank anyway since we did that. But yeah, we are reinforcing, which is why it's probably costing us so much. We'll go away eventually. We could go ahead and build some more buildings. I think I might want to hang on to some money for the time being, though, especially as we are losing money here. Again, we're probably going to take some pretty nasty attrition sitting around in these provinces. Okay, so colonies become self-sustaining. Excellent. And it gains 1 base tax. We get a new mission. Conquer Korea and conquer Hang Me On. I'd love to do either of those, but I don't think the moment is right. So what are we going to go and colonize next? Do we want to try and grab one of these provinces down here, or do we want to move over and start grabbing these cruddy little islands down here? No apologies to anyone that apologies to anyone that lives on these islands for calling them cruddy, but I just mean in terms of the game because they're really low development and they're kind of out of the way and difficult to get to. I mean, it is a good way to head over to the east and get towards America, but I think grabbing some stuff down here in the Spice Islands would probably be a little bit more useful. There's a fair few natives down in some of these spots. Let's start working on some of these provinces. We're going to send our colonists there. We are going to go and grab our transports. We're going to bring them down and pick up the guys that we have here. And then we'll drop them off to form a new colony. We will have to core that, of course. Got a new colony, got to core it because it's in the home continent. That's the way it works. Let's have a little look at force limits and things. We're at our force limit. We are still below our naval force limit. No reason why we can't have... I think what I'm going to do, you know, just while we're not at war, and while we've got some money, let's just go ahead and have another couple of heavies. Heavies are really expensive, but considering that the AI is using quite a lot of galleys, and naval superiority would really make things easier for us, having a few heavies against all of their galleys could really, really help us out. So we'll definitely keep our eye on that. There's still quite a lot of provincial unrest in that one province. Obviously, that is because we are coring it. I didn't raise the autonomy up here, which was a silly thing. I should have done that. Let's go ahead and raise the autonomy. Reduces the unrest somewhat, but not completely. Looks like our march is now up to 4,000 men. Yippee. They're still not going to be all that useful in a bar fight. Doesn't look like any of you guys are in a fight at all. You've actually rivaled Mongolia, but you're not currently in a fight. You've rivaled me, you're not in a war. You guys are... I have no idea what you guys are doing. And at the moment, none of my diplomats are doing anything useful at all. So I should probably keep just sucking up to the people who I am allied with. Just to make sure if I do get declared on that they would come in on my side as a defensive war, defensive call. Have those ships arrived yet? They have indeed. So you guys get on the ships. Ships drop you guys off. And it's not going to be too bad because we can actually walk between a lot of these provinces, which will make it a lot easier colonising all of these islands down here. So we can go ahead and take the transports back now. So again, lost a few more men. But we'll move the transports back up here. We can go and pick these guys up when we need to. So we are still making some money. We'll be able to get our next military tech soon. And that'll actually put us ahead of Korea. Now what do we get in terms of military tech? What's the next upgrade? So we get extra infantry fire and extra cavalry shock. A little bit of extra land force. Well, it unlocks the regimental camp, which I think we will be taking. Increasing our land force limit is going to be really, really good for us. If there's one tech you never want to slip behind on, it's your military tech, because that's always going to be the most important when you're fighting, really. But if we can increase our land force limit and overwhelm them with numbers, we do still need to have a certain amount of naval superiority, though, because, as I said, the big problem that we're going to have is that if we need to reinforce anything over here, we're going to have to bring troops over from the mainland, and that's going to be difficult if they've got a lot of ships around causing us problems, so we definitely need to keep our eye on that. So moving those ships back up, we have a core, thank you very much. Was that province up here? No, this one's still being cored. And then we'll need to go ahead and do the religious conversion over there. So the one that was cored was the one that was in Taiwan over here. So that's now a core. So we've got a couple of core provinces. There is our upgrade. Let's go ahead and take that. So we can now build regimental camps. And I'd certainly like to get some if I've got the space for any and the money to build any. So they're quite expensive. They're so expensive I can't afford a single one. But we'll try and save up some ducats and use those to boost our land force limit. Of course, there is a downside if you try and expand your land force limit artificially by putting these buildings down everywhere, is that, yes, you can have a much larger army, but then you're going to find that it's costing you so much money in army maintenance, you can't afford to keep them going, so do have to be relatively careful. Oh. Apologies if you can hear any strange buzzing through the microphone feed. Next door has decided it's a good opportunity to vacuum their carpets again. Likes to ram the hoover into the skirting boards nice and hard, just to make maximum noise for the neighbours. So it's either hoovering the carpets or mowing the lawn, one or the other. Okay, so we can either get 50% national tax modifier for a year, or we can gain 33 ducats. Let's take the tax modifier. Again, could have got a calculator out and done the math and try and worked out which would have given us the most money, but most of the time it's just not worth it. It's probably a couple of ducats here and there. If you're the sort of person that likes to min-max, then yeah, fair enough, you know, go for it, but I'm not usually all that concerned. Either one is a positive thing, either one will give me some extra money, just not 100% sure which one would give me the most. We are still over our diplomatic relations, and again, that is not good considering that we are well behind on Diplotech and we have a Diplotech group. Sorry, a Diplo idea group, so we probably should break this relationship over here with Yeren as soon as possible. The problem is the royal marriage. We need that to go away either when their ruler dies or our ruler dies. Their ruler is... Now that's the heir's age. What's the ruler's age? Their ruler's 72. So Yeren's ruler might die quite soon. We might be able to break that royal marriage and therefore break the alliance. And I won't need any help to attack him, really. Our leader is 28. Now, it might be easy to turn around and say our leader's not likely to die anytime soon. But... that's not always the case. Sometimes leaders do die quite early on. We can actually get another rival now as well. Japan does seem to have a habit of leaders dying at a really young age, so you do have to be careful there. Hopefully that call will finish nice and soon. We can go and do the religious conversion, get rid of any potential uprising that there is over there. Still 4.5% unrest. Game's auto-saving. There we go. It's still at 0%. It's going to be 19.3 years before anything happens there. They've not made any progress at all. Any wars going in that I could jump in on the back of and sort of take advantage of Korea? Nope. See, they're improving their relations with Ming as well, which is a real pain. Ming, you're not proving to be very useful in this conflict with Korea. The strange thing is... Ming has so few allies, and Ming is generally so weak, is I could probably actually beat Ming in a fight. He is allied with Langzang down here. But yeah, I mean, I probably could fabricate on Ming. Mind you, he does have 30,000, 23, sorry, 22, 24, 34. He's got 34,000 men around. So... that I can see, there might be more. So he's got 34,000 men, he does have a few ships, so he doesn't have a lot of naval stuff. I mean, what we could do, potentially, is we could fabricate from Taiwan and actually start taking some of these provinces down here. Yeah, I think that's the only place that we could potentially fabricate on, because it's the only place that we share a border with. But yeah, we could actually fabricate on Ming if we wanted to. You say he does have a lot of men. I don't know how many Langzang had. Well, we could find that out. We can go and look in the ledger. Let's have a look at the military, the armies. Where are we? I'm looking at J's. I want L. Langzang. So they have 15,000 men. So we're looking at over, what, 50,000 men in total. So yeah, it's a lot of troops to go up against at the current rate of things. Saying that, if we were to declare, well, we could, yeah, we have an alliance with them. It'd be just nice to know if anyone would actually come in on our side. Difficult to tell. They are enemies with Wu. We're not allied with Wu, though. Sometimes you just get unlucky in this game because a lot of it comes down to who decides to be friend with who else. You got 3 heavies as well, so... Oh, there's also more ships down there. Yeah, they've got a lot of lights and a lot of heavies. Got to be really careful here. Speaking of heavies, all of ours are done, so let's go and merge them all up and mothball them so we're not paying stupid amounts of maintenance on them. We've got 3 here. One of them is mothballed. How do I know which one is mothballed? Can I even tell? We assume it's the first one. Yeah. So merge them together, mothball them up, merge them all together. There we go. So let's have a look at those force limits. We can get another infantry. Let's go ahead and do that. I could be getting more artillery, but there again, bear in mind that we do actually end up losing a load of infantry when we fight. We can go ahead and convert that province. It'll take a while, but let's do it. And we can go ahead and... oh no, apparently we'd had a claim we could fabricate somewhere. Not too sure on what that was on. Iran, apparently. Where was Iran? Am I missing something? Find province. Oh, we had a claim on that. Well, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. They're our march anyway. Fish will be produced. Not the best of trade goods. Royal marriage with Ming has ended. Okay, so here is a... Right, now, it was me that... Okay, it was me that wanted to get the royal marriage, and it was their leader that broke it. So it's the one that's the sort of receiver of the royal marriage that breaks it when they die. So, do I want to consider going to war with Ming? He doesn't have many allies, but he does have a lot of troops. He is at Tech Group 8, which is the same as myself. No, I think for the time being we will keep the relationship with him. He is quite... If he breaks apart more, we'll consider it, but I think for the time being, keeping Ming around isn't such a bad idea. He may not be that useful in the war against Korea, but there's lots of other people that we could pick on later, and having Ming around for those could be useful. So how's the unrest going over there? It's actually up to 9.8, so that's increased, obviously, because we are doing the religious conversions now. So, what have we got? We've got non-accepted culture, which is fine. The active missionary is giving it +6, and the intolerance is giving it +4. So, once the province converts, you lose the 6 for the missionary and the 4 for the intolerance, and it takes it down to below 0. So, there shouldn't be any more risk of a rebellion there, so that's okay. Diplomats have stopped trying to improve relations because we're capped, that's fine. Do we want to go ahead and start building a regimental camp or two? Well, yes, we do. Doesn't really matter where we build them because it gives you the same benefit everywhere, with one exception. It does take autonomy into consideration. So you do want to use it in provinces that have little or no local autonomy, because it basically gives you one base manpower. One base force limit. Is that the force limit or the manpower one? I've just confused myself. Let's have a look here. Regimental camp. Yes, the force limit. It gives you one base land force limit. I don't think that matters too much then. No, because force limit is still... Yeah, force limit does still take local autonomy into consideration. So if you ever look at a province, that province will have your military power. Now, that increases base manpower, but if you look at your development increases your local land force limit by 1.10, and if you have any local autonomy, then that gets reduced down. So it's 11. That's 11 development 1.1. So it's literally 0.1 manpower per development, but there's no autonomy. If you look here where there is autonomy, this should have a 0.3 manpower because it's 3 development. And force limit. Land force limit 0.3. I'm almost certain that is affected by autonomy, because that's the reason why our land force limit is slowly ticking up, even though we're not taking extra... I mean, I know we have taken some extra land because we've taken the, we've been colonising and we've taken an extra province from a native. But before then, if you remember back to maybe around, I don't know, between videos 5 and 10, even when we weren't expanding, our army force limit was increasing, and that was because the local autonomy was ticking down. So if you put down any building that increases your manpower or increases your force limit, try and put it in a province that has little or no local autonomy. The reason I chose this province is because it's got 4 building slots. It's got quite a high development here. So I decided that was a nice place to go and put that one in. We can gain some inflation for Diplo power, or we can just gain a little bit of Diplo. I don't really want to gain the inflation. We already have so much inflation, which is because we have that gold mine. We could use some admin power to try and buy it down, but I think we'll wait a little bit for now. Doesn't seem like it's a rush, necessarily. Let's just keep having a look here. He still has his allies. My ally... Ming's actually willing to join in now, which I find strange. Is Ming not liking Korea at the moment? Right, why won't you guys come in? You have a defensive attitude towards me and you consider it distant. You have a defensive attitude towards me. So if I can actually get these guys to like me enough... We are pretty much already capped with them. Yeah, improved relations with you is 91. That's a real shame. If those guys didn't have capped relations with me, sorry, if those guys didn't have a defensive attitude towards me, I could get Ming to... Mind you, Ming can keep all of these guys busy, I think. This is almost worth doing. With that in mind, and in preparation to that, how are things going over here? Are we likely to get a rebellion? I don't think they're making any progress yet. No, it is at 20%. Which is problematic. 7.9 years, and that conversion is going to take ages. Well, if they convert it, it's a problem, but it's a crap province, so I don't care. In fact, no, let's leave you there. No, actually, no. I know there's a bit of indecisiveness there. I was trying to decide what would be quicker, either moving the men down to this province to get them on the boat, or moving the boats up. I think moving the boats up will be a slightly quicker option. So let's go and pick them up. I say it's a slightly quicker option. That wasn't necessarily true. But I think it may be time. We're probably not going to go to war straight away. Well, let's not pick those guys up yet. I'm going to have a think about it in between episodes, what I'm going to do. It would be nice if we could get a few more allies, because Wu's probably just going to start trying to drop troops off with his naval superiority. We do need to go ahead and start mothballing those heavies though. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying EU4, and if you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. And remember, if you'd like to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon account, and the link is in the description below. So until next time, goodbye for now.